Всем привет, с вами я, Б-1, и мы продолжаем проходить игру Vampyr. Давай, прежде чем мы начнем, ты поставишь лайк, подпишешься на канал и поделишься этим роликом с друзьями. Не буду затягивать, а мы начинаем.
I know that Pembroke will prevail and survive this epidemic.
Так, давайте дальше продолжим знакомиться с персоналом,
Good evening.
с коллегами, так сказать.
I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Do you need my medical attention, dear colleague?
You don't have to worry about me, Dr. Reed. I am here to assist you, not to be a burden.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time. You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Please tell me something about yourself.
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior, a man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Так, извиняюсь, у меня тут кот. Тась, ну иди, пожалуйста.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Так, я не знаю, может быть, еще кого-то расспросим, мне, может быть, хватит. Давайте, наверное, уже все. И пойдем выполним задание. Там вроде бы кто-то говорил, типа, в саду. Что-то такое вот есть. Милтон, по-моему. Сейчас повезем. Да, вот отслеживать. А это в кабинет, окей, надо спуститься вниз. Вот. Все понял. Не туда. Будь здоров, не обосрись! Так, как попасть в этот задний сад? Что-то есть вокруг. А, ну чеснок, понятно. Слабость вампиров. Так, что тут здесь можно будет взять? Документ какой-нибудь. Да. Маленькая бутылка.
It's locked, all right.
Дверь заперта.
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate.
Мне нужна твоя кровь. Невкусная кровь. Дрянь какая-то. Прекрати, дрянь. Не мешай, стой. Да ты задрал уже кровь сосать. Только я могу так делать. Там что-то в мусорке есть. Свинцовое грузило.
I cannot enter.
Карантин, карантин, одни карантины. Я чё, круг сделал?
It's locked.
Да, я сделал круг. Или нет? Что-то я запутался. Найдите в саду потерянный бумажник.
So, Mr. Hooks and Nurse Hawkins are an item. Those two have hidden their affections well.
Да, это будет полезная информация, наверное. Я на это надеюсь. Блин, лабиринт какой-то вот, ей-богу. Вон, нашел дверь. Что-нибудь есть? Да, ща. Я думаю, можно будет осмотреть. Закрыто, все закрыто. Да ё-моё, я потерялся в этом лабиринте.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet, with all the money and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin color that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm fine, Doc. Physically, at least. But I would give everything to be in a better place right now.
Так.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not
Ничего ты тут
defending yourself.
зеваешь, а?
You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
Goodbye, Milton.
Давайте наконец-таки поднимемся в свой кабинет. Давайте поднимемся в свой кабинет. Так. Нет. Полиции в конце коридора. Старая пила. Может, ты сдрыснешь отсюда и не будешь мне мешать, а то мявкаешь тут. Мявкаешь.
It's locked, all right.
Чё это? Доктор Трипер, доктор Стрикман, доктор Эйк. Это доктор Рид. Это мой кабинет.
This must be the place.
Открыто
It's
убежище.
definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Так, это можешь подобрать? Нет?
The flower's dying. It needs water.
дай. Честно, мне это очень лень читать. Если был еще какой-то маленький, то прочитал. Так, мы сейчас прокачаемся. Ты что, хочешь привлечь к себе внимание или что? Что ты хочешь? Видишь, крестение здоровья. О, вот это надо бы. Да серьезно нужно что? Прокачали то, что нужно. Все. Давайте подойдем к верстаку. Скажи, видов ключей, почта улица. Нужно прям. Можешь убрать этого нич. Забери себе, пожалуйста.
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun... is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now.
Not now.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor.
I'd like to...
Wise choice, Doctor.
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening.
How close are you to Miss Horcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty.
Не трогай провода, пожалуйста,
Aren't
я
you
тебя
afraid?
умоляю.
She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of my blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
And it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
Soldier, do you need assistance?
I'm fine. Just do something for this pain, will you?
Goodbye for now, Mr.
Damn.
Я с тобой говорить хочу.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
Do you require my services, Miss Howcroft?
I have no need for your medicine, Dr. Reed. Blood is...
I'll leave you.
Ладно, похоже, опять придется поспать. Идти за ремнем. Я тут ходил.
It's locked.
Закрыто. Тут какой-то сейф. И он теперь будет меня интересовать. Буду гадать, что же там такого интересного.
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood?
I'm not one to make wait, Doctor. I've patients to attend.
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse.
Стой.
Yes, Doc.
Exactly how bad is the supply situation here at Pembroke?
It really depends. Dr. Swansea deftly works his society contacts for monies, but with the quarantine, well, we're in God's hands.
Не трогай. Дай
Please,
спросить.
could you point me in the direction of the morgue again?
It's the large boarded-up building behind the hospital. You can't miss it. The key I gave you will open the small back door to it.
Why then do you always work the nights? Don't you ever sleep?
At the Pembroke, we're always hands on deck.
Lack of sleep and the medical profession always ends in disaster. I've witnessed many a colleague succumb to stimulants to fight exhaustion. Drugs were as deadly as bullets in the trenches.
London's trenches start here at Pembroke Hospital. We are on the front line, make no mistake.
Your dedication to the Pembroke does you credit, Nurse Crane, but when do you sleep?
We staff get our sleep when we can, Doctor. Nursing is a vocation, not the labor of a journeyman.
That's all for now.
Ну, в морг так в морг. Там же 100% будут эти твари. Скалы. И как их там? Гули. О, гули, гули, гули.
It's locked.
Задняя дверь. Ну вот она, да. Угу. Мы этих людей в больнице начнем жрать, когда узнаем побольше информации. О всех информацию. Что у них за кровь. Да, эти твари точно здесь есть. Ой. Шиллинги. Я смотрю, тут все, что чтобы ничего не пропустить. Дверь тут, конечно
I
же,
cannot
закрыта.
enter. Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza.
О, химин. Или что-то такое, типа такого. Как раз то, что я искал. Что вылечить от этого переутомления.
This key will
Хорош шарать.
surely grant me access to the basement.
Я не глухой.
Balls of Mars. Fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself
Ну,
useful.
короче, тут все лекарства, то, что мне нужно будет вылечить того. Пошлите в подвал. Ох, йоу. Все, я не хочу туда. Мне стало страшно резко. Не, серьезно, я чуть не обкакался. Какой-то страшный. Тихо идем. Где тут на корточке?
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. What are they?
Да я тут стопну. Нормально так. Мне нравится, да.
It's locked. It's locked. Mr. Connor's injuries don't match. Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps? The chest was originally opened to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman. A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful.
Да ты профессионал.
Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then, he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked. It's locked, all right.
Стоп, чё? Чё? Не понимаю, его видно или нет?
Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
Нормально. Ха? Ха? Да, долгая загрузка была. Сейчас мы изготовим лекарство, и после этого поговорим с Типекс, или как его там.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
Болезнь, заболеваешь, не, кажется. Все, он уже здоровый. Переутомление. Где Кокс? Где Кокс? Где он? Ну блин, этого бы еще найти. Вот он.
Good evening, Mr. Cox.
Dr. Reed. Still working at night, I see. I like that.
And why is that?
People who don't sleep at night always seem more alive to me. More interesting, one way or another.
Do you ever think about that poor fellow I saw you push in the water?
The wound he gave me will make sure I don't forget him. It still fucking hurts. Boss had cut me good.
That man was determined to murder you. You almost died.
What a surprise. The first time I met him, he nearly shit himself. Fucking coward. I guess revenge gives you balls.
What did he want? Revenge?
I recently had to kill his brother. Poor arsehole thought it would be easy to return the favor.
Only the strongest survive, then? Survival at all costs. Is that all you think about?
I'm the toughest bastard you'll ever meet, Dr. Reed. And I don't give a fuck what you think of me.
How is your hospitalization going, Mr. Cox?
This is a shitty place with shitty staff. But as long as I'm treated all right, I'll be fine.
What's wrong with the hospital?
Come on, Dr. Reed. The place is a dump. Smelly, sad, and dirty.
But you're alive thanks to the efforts and dedication of the staff here, aren't you?
What are you expecting, a medal? I thought that saving lives was just part of the job. Must be an unsatisfactory profession at this time, I'm sure.
What's
Неблагодарный
wrong
ублюдок.
with the Pembroke staff?
That bastard you sent to bring me here, Milton. I thought he was going to break all my bones before I reached my bed.
I see. Any other smart comments?
The nurses aren't too ugly. Especially that foxy one, Nurse Crane. Pretty brunette, tough attitude, all like that.
How long do you think you can escape the law, Clay?
I know this city like the back of my hand, Doc. I know its streets, who to pay, who to avoid, and who to bully. I won't get caught.
We can't escape the consequences of our actions. The past catches up with us in the end.
I ain't afraid of death. I don't hide who I am. I live my life honestly, which is more than I can say for most folks.
And who are you, then?
I'm the leader of the Wet Boot Boys. One day, I'll leave this shitty place and punch in the face all who thought I would not come back.
You're lucky to be alive, Mr. Cox. I hope you're starting to take better care of yourself.
This place is full of sickness and decay. How could I get better in such a dump?
Consider yourself lucky that I'm treating all of my patients equally. But don't push your luck.
Don't play the innocent with me. I'm sure you have good reasons to act this way. And also weaknesses that can be exploited.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
Всем спасибо за просмотр, ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь на канал. Всем удачи, всем пока-пока.